sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Jake Herron from Academy High School basketball program. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
I tell you, I just want to thank you and what you have done with Academy. You know, I mean, you caught me off guard this year with your success. I didn't know that you could get your program that quick, because you just started coaching 2 years ago. But you know, coming from Valencia, what a great job you've done with your program. And it's not just you; it's your assistant coaches. And I get all that, but it starts with the head coach.
Well, I appreciate that. I think we were a little surprised this year too. You know, we had some goals this season, and we've met and surpassed some of those goals. I think our staff has done a great job. Like you said, I do have really good assistant coaches. Marco Citabaca and Steve Mieta have really helped me figure out how to get the most out of Academy kids, because, you know, wherever you coach, there's always a different type of kid, and the kids from Valencia respond differently to coaching as kids from Academy respond. So, you know, our first year was really about establishing culture and then finding out how are we going to get the most out of these kids. And I think this year we've gotten a lot out of our guys, so it's been fun.
Well, let's go back to Valencia. You know, and that's kind of where you and I mean, you were assistant with Brown, Coach Greg Brown, and we knew each other. But I got to really sit down and talk to you at those tournaments. We covered the tournament, and to me, that's a shame that those tournaments are still not going on in Los Angeles. This was the last year that they did it, so it's been it was fun sitting down and getting to talk to you, and I became and I told you, I said, I'm watching, I like what you're doing with your team, and I follow your box scores, and in every game you got better and better, you know, by the reduction of your losses, and I think, man, that's really a great coach, because to keep kids positive, you got to win, and you kept them positive, and they were getting better and better, and you just couldn't get the wins that you wanted.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it starts with Coach Brown at Volcano. I mean, he taught me a lot about the process. You know, if you take care of the process, the results will take care of themselves. And I felt like taking that to Valencia, taking that mentality to Valencia helped in those years where maybe we didn't have as much talent, but if we worried about the process and we worried about playing together and playing the right way, that we would show improvement. And I felt like that was our goal every year that we were there, was just play our best basketball at the end of the year and just keep kids focused on that. And guys have, you know, got a lot better while we were there at Valencia, and it kind of showed within the program because Josh Maddox was one of my assistants, and he sort of kept that process going and kind of put his stamp on it. And for that program, they've had double-digit back-to-back wins, and I don't think that's ever happened in school history. And they've had 3 berths in a row to the state tournament, which has never happened in school history. So hopefully that process has kind of stayed there, and it's something that we've taken with us to Academy to kind of continue that at a new school.
The Academy job opens up, and tell you, I mean, really, you think about the coaches, only like 2 coaches that I know of in 25 years almost,
Probably
or
longer.
30
Yeah.
years or something like that, maybe longer. But how does that feel? And how, I mean, that's got to be an honor just to be able to, the thought, one, to be in the process of getting the job, and then getting the job.
Yeah, it's a different atmosphere. Like I said, you're surrounded by a different type of kid, a different type of parent. There's really high expectations at the school in all sports.
And grades.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to touch on that for a little bit because, talking with Mike Brown over the years and everything, it's not easy to get into that school. You got to get. A lot of people think, oh, you just recruit to this school and get, it's a private school. It's not. It doesn't work that way.
Right. Not only do you have to get accepted into the school through testing, but you've got to maintain where if we have kids that get C's, they could get put on probation and not get to play. So we're even at a higher standard than what the NMAA asks. So I think for our guys, when they say they need an evening to study, you kind of got to let them go study. You got to let them prepare for these exams. You got there's a lot of high stakes when it comes to education. So I think that's always the priority in school, but I think at Academy it's at even a higher priority than it is at the public school level. So it's something that you have to learn how to manage as a head coach, which has been different in the past.
Well, but one thing is you got good student athletes and you got a high IQ, so that makes it easier. I mean, if you look at the success over the years of Academy, that was one of the someone like
Roy Morgan.
Mm-hmm. The head coach at Charlotte Hornets, and James Borrego.
Borrego, yeah.
Borrego,
Mm-hmm.
you think about him, he was a graduate from there,
Mm-hmm.
and the toppers. I just go think, Skarsgård. I just go through a list of people that have really had successful careers afterwards, but it's also had successful basketball careers.
Yeah, definitely.
And don't take away from the Browns, Greg and Danny Brown too. So.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the type of kid you're dealing with. And that's when I said, how do we get the most out of these types of kids? And I hope to have up to 60, 70 sets because it's something that our kids can do and handle, and I think they could be successful doing, which you can't always do at other places. But I think Academy, you've got to utilize those skill sets and try to help those kids in how they learn and succeed.
Very, very interesting. I mean, what a great year this year. I mean, last year I watched and got to talk to you. It was a learning year. I think adapting from the elements and getting used to it. But nice venue.
Oh, fantastic place to play. I know that just like that old school gym with Hope and Academy and playing those tight quarters, it's a really fun place to coach, a really fun place to play. So we've really enjoyed that home court advantage this year.
It's all in red. It kind of reminds me of like a miniature pit. It's not sunken, but in a way it's sunken the way it's designed. Mm-hmm. It's neat to see what you've done in a short time, and you're going to get a seed in the state tournament. So was that one of your goals?
Definitely. I think for us, getting to that end of season 3 part was a huge goal for us. I think for any program in a wild card process, when you can be one of the 16 teams and you get to practice a little bit longer and get ready a little bit longer, you can grab some of those JV kids and be like, hey, this is a chance to go play in the pit in this amazing venue. And when you can offer that opportunity to kids, it can help grow the program. And so getting to that bid that we have a chance to get, I think is really important for any program. So we're really excited, interested to see where we land and who we play. We definitely feel like our district got us ready for any game. So we're just excited to see where we land.
Well, You know what? We're going to take a little break. We're going to go to the Dream Style Top 10 Plays of the Week and come back and talk a little bit more about Academy basketball.
Cool.
I'll just get a little closer.
Oh, instead it's a gorgeous pass.
Here's what
Gonna just shoot it.
He's going to go all the way.
He's gonna fire at the buzzer and he hits.
Great pass, Hadbury, and thank you very much.
Tie in the district. Inside, fly, Eagles.
Chavez uses some athleticism. And then Morris down low, able to finish. You called it, Steve, in 10 seconds. And look at this, stripped, stolen Watson. Christian Lucero beats the buzzer. Here's Ian Chavez, the sharpshooter. Got it.
Said that any better. He answered the question. He
On
got
a
another one.
steal at the buzzer. Back to back for Chavez.
To the paint. Medina from the volleyball lines. Medina wants another one from deep. Oh, he wants 10. Give him 10.
Lewis finds Watson. He's going to finish. One-handed slam. Vista, but just all the different scenarios we can see potentially play out ahead of the state tournament.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. Got Jake Herron, head basketball coach at Academy High School, and again, congratulations on your year. It's not ended; it's moving forward. And going into this year, what were your expectations? Of, tough conference, and we'll talk a little bit about that in probably the last segment. But really, what was your mindset coming into this year?
We weren't sure. We knew we had a couple of really good returning players in Brady Ford and Ryan Yassin, and we knew we had a supporting cast that needed some work, and we just weren't sure how much better they got over the summer and the preseason, and we felt like our expectations were all over the place between coaches even. Like we were like, well, some of us were double-digit wins, some of us weren't sure. And I think, the district schedule was really difficult, so we knew it was gonna be hard to find wins inside that district. But our seniors and our lower classmen really committed to that preseason and to the summer and got a whole lot better. And I think that's where you've seen our results increase, is from their work. So had they not put in the work, then we probably wouldn't see the result that we have. So it's been pleasantly surprising to see our, 4th, 5th, 6th guys play so much better this year than we anticipated.
And what were you thinking when you took the job, when you have Academy, Hope, Highland, Bernalillo, Del Norte,
Valley.
and Valley? What a district.
Yeah, I think you have good young coaches in that district. You have veteran coaches with very established programs, there's just no surprising anybody. You can't throw anything at anybody that they haven't seen a million times. I think between the older guys in the conference, older coaches in the conference, there's probably 20 plus state championships amongst those guys. So there's a lot of learning to be done for us young coaches.
And mostly with one.
I know, but I mean, it's not like Coleman and Coach Darnell haven't done a great job with those programs too. But still, 20 plus championships, and with Coach Woody doing such a quick turnaround job at Highland, and then Coach Mack always getting his guys to play so well at the end of the year. I mean, there's just a lot to learn every night and every game against those guys. So really tough district. Gets you ready for state though. I mean, Valley won state out of this district last year. I could be wrong, but I anticipate a winner coming out of our district again this year.
While we're talking about coaching, a great win against Hope. It surprised everybody. It was like, I take that back. It didn't surprise. It did surprise me, but it didn't surprise me because I watched y'all in the academy tournament. Mm-hmm. I remember coming up to your bench and sitting down and saying, "Man, this district better be watching out for you." And anybody that talked to him, I tell you, people think that they're just going to roll over academy. I don't think that's going to happen. And in the game I'm talking about is your victory over Hope, and that was.
It was a great night of basketball, just good high school basketball played. Mostly, there wasn't a whole lot of coaching. It was just, we had their individual performances in that game. Like Ryan Yassine had 30 that game. Brady Ford had a double-double. Everybody came ready to play. It came down to the very last possession. So it was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it. You don't get a lot of wins versus Hope, so any chance
you got a lot of accolades too after and that's contagious too. I mean, you're talking about it when people are talking, when you're beating the Hopes and you're playing with the Valleys and you're in Del Norte, because of all the things you just said about and Bernalillo, don't even take and what they've accomplished in their careers and everything, but that's got to be exciting for you and your players.
Yeah, it is. Every night is a chance to play a state tournament game for us. So it gets us ready, and when you're playing that high level of competition, when you get those wins, whether they're rare or not, it's really exciting for your program.
And that's where we're at right now. We're in district play, or district tournament. District play is over. Now it's district play, district tournament play, and then it's selection seating show, and then it's state tournament. Mm-hmm. This week, what are your thoughts about this week?
Well, we played Del Norte last night, and they're always prepared, always tough, and they played a great game and they beat us, so we're actually out of the district tournament. So we're looking at this time period as a little bit of recovery and rest time, kind of a chance.
So basically, if I'm correct, you got 10 days or 11 days before?
11 days. 11 days before the state tournament to not only work on us, but figure out who we're going to play and then how we're going to best prepare for those opponents. So, maybe it could be a blessing to get a little bit of rest time, but we wish we were still playing in this district tournament.
And looking ahead, and I know it's going to be determined this Sunday. And by the way, Lava Rock, people come watch it, the selection seating show by ProView Networks, and it's going to be live, and come out and enjoy yourself, watch it live. But back to, have you looked at kind of who you might be playing? I mean, I know but you have an idea. You have probably picked two teams that could be, probably where you could be, and kind of speak about that.
I think
you're going to go on the road. You're not going to play at home.
Yeah, we're going to be on the road.
Top 8 teams get to go and stay at home.
Mm-hmm. And I really think it's going to end up being Las Lunas, Highland, or Espanola is where we think we're at. I think we're going to be about 11 or 12, somewhere in that range, and I think we're going to play, the 5 seed, which could be any of those 3 teams. We've had a chance to see Las Lunas this year, had a great game. We came out on top.
You don't know that team very well, do you? I mean, that's your hometown too. Why? I mean, that's a good,
It is.
Travis Julian, what a great coach he is, great guy.
Done a great job at that program. Really proud alum of what he's accomplished. I think they just won their 6th district championship out of 8 years.
On a down year. He had a tough year starting.
Mm-hmm. So he's done a really great job there. So it'd be, I wouldn't prefer playing them in the first round, but at least we've seen them. Playing a district opponent in the first round is always really tough. So if we could avoid that, just to see somebody else at the end of the year, that'd be great. Espanola Valley would be a great atmosphere for our guys to get to go play in. Not an easy one by any means, but a great one to go play in. So we're just looking forward to getting a chance to continue our season, which is really important for our program.
Well, so how do you prepare for that? I mean, this is your first really time as a head coach to be experiencing this. I know you've got a lot of with Coach Brown, when you were assistant, you have that, but now you're the head coach. What are your concerns?
I think, I've had a lot of experience as an assistant, and when you're out, something that I've always done is I go to these other programs' practices to see how they prepare, because when I get our opportunity, I want it to be ready for it. So I think for us, just the amount of time between the last game and the state tournament game is a little concerning. How long is it going to take your team to get to game speed? How hard do you go in practice for how long getting up until that game? So there's just these questions of how do you manage time within these 10 days to make sure that your team is peaking and not exhausted from practice or not sharp from practice. So I think that's really the key in these next 10 days is how do we get the most out of our guys? Well,
I'll tell you, that's a good question. That's the $1 million question. And I've experienced it with, coaching with Frank Castile and Tom Naubert and my thing. And I think the one is the distractions too. Mm-hmm. How do you handle the distractions, because everybody wants, is excited. There's so much excitement and things about playing in the state championship.
And playing in front of a big crowd. Usually this state tournament game is going to have a full house. So you get kids that maybe haven't played in front of a lot of kids all year. So how do you get a kid prepared to play in front of a lot of people, especially people that are rooting against you if you're on the road, I think is one of those things. It's experience. And that's where we'll lean heavily on our most veteran guys to kind of settle us down. And, hopefully our coaches experienced where we're calm and, our kids sort of just played. It's another basketball game.
We're going to go to a little break, come back, talk more about Academy High School basketball and also state tournament time.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
Local Union 412. Find a career with benefits and not just a job at UA Local 412 Training Center. We are looking for plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC tech apprentices and journeymen. Call 505-256-9257. Local Union 412.
Perez Collision Center is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks and Albuquerque Boxing. Perez Collision Center offers expert knowledge on any of your auto body and paint needs. Give them a call today, 505-254-4655, or stop by for a visit at 2415 2nd Street Northwest in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Perez Collision Center.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, #life change will occur.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We've got Jake Herron, head basketball coach at Academy High School, and again, great year. It's not over, but it's been a great year and excitement. It's got to be exciting for you as a young coach and getting to feel that moment of state tournament.
Yeah, and getting kids ready for the state tournament, it's exciting. Just the possibilities of getting a chance to play in the pit, it's a thrill. So we're looking forward to it.
Big Sunday, I guess you would say, selection and seating show. I know there's, a lot of, I know Adam Dill's been doing the 5A, and boy, he's getting beat up because of the way they're being paired and the way they are. But it is what it is, and you might want to touch on that. How people, the MMA seats people.
Well, I think the coaches, from what I've noticed, I get a lot of text messages from other coaches. Where do you think we're going to land? How do you think it's going to play out? I think there's some interesting questions that would be nice to be clarified about tie breaks. If you finish first with somebody else, are you both considered a district champion? How does all the math work out when there's tie breaks? I think those are some things that we wish there was a little more clarification on. I think coaches are a little frustrated too by the district finish rule, that you cannot
be higher seated
than someone in your district, which kind of eliminates the whole idea of a wild card system, a body of work. So like you look at the Volcano Vista district right now and they're sitting fourth, and I know a lot of people will say, well, you got to take care of business in district. Well, that district's a nightmare, and that district has produced the last 4 state champions. So being second or third in that district is not easy. So for them to be the 4th seeded team in that district and be placed behind Rio Rancho in criteria when Volcano Vista is the 2nd seed in max preps, they have tons of wins versus district champions. They have a ton of the criteria points, but it's all reduced to what Rio Rancho has done because they can't be seeded past them. And I think then why have a criteria system if you're limited by your resume outside of district? And that's where I think we could use some adjustments. I think the other big frustration we're having as coaches is wins versus district champs, where if you have a win against a 1A school, no disrespect to 1A school, especially someone like Pecos, if you beat Pecos, that's a huge win.
Don't talk to Clovis about Pecos.
Right. But if you have a win versus a 1A school, but then you have a win versus a Trisco Heritage, they're counting those as the same level of win, and that can allow for some of these 4A, 5A schools to maybe soft schedule at times, or they know their regions so they can play some of these 1A, 2A district champs and get these wins. And I think that I just don't see that as it needs to be tweaked is what the system needs. It just needs a few little tweaks. I think that would make it, because it's good, like it's not a bad system, it just needs to be tweaked.
I agree, and I think one of my issues is, if you're going to seed teams, then it's probably more of a football thing too. I mean, it's not basketball. If a team in football, who holds who, okay, and I don't. Historically, it's been great, but I don't agree with it since they put the seeding the top 12 teams in football into that, and it if you're ahead of the better team in all brackets, if you look across the country on anything that's on the national levels of college and is that the higher seed always gets the home game. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that needs to be tweaked over a period of time. But your issues are very valid, and a lot of concerns about that. And I think I have an answer. I think if two teams are tied, they're equal. Okay, on that to help you on your transparency on that part of that. But it's been interesting because and you brought it up with Volcano Vista, there, and I know that Adam's getting beat up just because all he's just doing is going by the criteria. Mm-hmm. Well, that's where they're going to be, maybe at 12, 13, depending on what happens this week.
And I can tell you, speak to that. If you got your district tournament, let's say that Volcano Vista and Rio Rancho play. If Volcano Vista beats Rio Rancho, that's actually going to hurt their seeding So beating Rio Rancho in the district tournament, because it's already set.
Because they're going to be behind. I didn't even think about that.
So if they beat them, then Rio Rancho is going to drop in win percentage and possibly in max preps, which then is going to push Volcano Vista down. So Volcano Vista would benefit more from losing a district tournament game to Rio Rancho than they would by winning the game. Because even if they win and go beat Atrisco in the finals, they still can't be seeded above Rio Rancho. So we're talking about a system that is telling you you're going to not benefit from winning, and it actually hurts you from winning. And that's where I think those little tweaks need to be made, because you should never be punished for winning a game, especially in the district tournament.
Interesting. You done some well. You're well thought out on that. I didn't even. That's one I wasn't concerned about. I mean, I just figured they're going to be behind Rio Rancho.
Right, and so if you look at it, you think, well, Volcano Vista gets win percentage. They're going to get a higher win percentage by winning the district tournament. They're going to get a higher max preps. They can possibly get another win versus district champ. They get all those things, but if they can't be seeded higher than Rio Rancho, none of those matter, because they're at the mercy of Rio Rancho's criteria. So we've overemphasized the district play when there's not a balance within districts, and I think that's where my issue comes in. So, you know, there's a couple of simple tweaks that could be made, but I don't know if now's the time to kind of get into all that.
Well, you know what? We don't have time. We're coming to a conclusion. I just want to, hey, thanks for what you do for Academy, of the community, and also those kids that you're coaching. So I appreciate and your great season, and good luck in the state tournament.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
You bet.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.